Let me break this down quickly. The current state of the rap scene is chaotic and loud, and honestly, Drake seems to be getting overwhelmed by his own issues. You'd think after all these years he would have learned to stay calm, play it cool, and manage his affairs like a pro. But instead of improving his situation, Drake has made things to the point where people are seriously criticizing him, saying he's never looked this much like a loser before. Let's dive into it. By the way, welcome to Celebrity Hip Hop Showroom, where hip hop and celebrity drama never sleep, so hit that subscribe button so you never miss the mess. Let's get into it. So here's the deal. Drake is already deep in a lawsuit with Universal, trying to get Kendrick Lamar's full contract and figure out what happened during their back and forth. Now he's also dragging Jay-Z and Roc Nation into the situation. Seriously, how many conflicts is he trying to juggle at once? You can't be in a legal battle, throwing shade at Pusha T, taking shots at Kendrick, and then suddenly decide to go after HOV too. That's not a power move, that's just desperation. Let's take a step back. Everyone remembers that Super Bowl moment when Kendrick Lamar owned the stage, representing TD, PG Lang, and the culture. That wasn't just a performance, it was a powerful statement. Kendrick was solidifying his place on one of the world's biggest platforms, and guess who was behind that? Roc Nation. Jay-Z, the same guy who has been strategically navigating the industry for decades. That Super Bowl performance wasn't just entertainment, it was a significant cultural moment. Now, instead of letting it go and focusing on his own success, Drake chooses to throw shade. He's upset that Roc Nation and Kendrick collaborated on that platform while he was left out. But honestly, nobody owes him that stage. It's not like Drake hasn't had his own chances. He could have easily been part of that conversation if his industry relationships were stronger. Instead of reflecting on himself, he's pointing fingers, making accusations, and dragging Jay-Z into his legal troubles. You realize that this isn't a good look, right? You can't just come for HOV like that. Jay-Z isn't just an artist, he's a business and an institution. Legally targeting Roc Nation and publicly making slick remarks is not just audacious, but also reckless. The streets are already viewing Drake with suspicion due to the whole Kendrick feud, and now he wants to challenge the man who helped shape the industry? That's a dangerous move. But it doesn't end there. On top of everything, Drake has started dissing Pusha T again. This has people confused, like, what's he thinking? We all remember Story of Adidon. That wasn't just a diss track, it was a pivotal moment in his career. Pusha T exposed Drake publicly, revealing personal family matters and forcing Drake to acknowledge a child he had kept secret. That was a deep wound for Drake that never really healed. Now, years later, instead of moving on, he's revisiting that conflict with Pusha. The issue is he's not winning this battle. Pusha has already claimed victory, and everyone saw it. So every time Drake tries to reignite that feud, he just appears unable to let go. Right now, it seems like Drake is addicted to keeping feuds alive. He's got issues with Kendrick, Pusha, and now he's trying to take shots at Jay-Z and Roc Nation? That doesn't make him look like the king of rap. It makes him look like someone who can't face reality. And the reality is this: the game doesn't revolve around him anymore, and the more he fights against that, the worse he appears. Let's discuss the facts. When someone keeps fighting battles they've already lost, that's not strength, it's ego. Drake's ego is clearly hurt, and it shows in his every action. He keeps reaching out, trying to prove something. But the truth is, real ones don't need to prove anything. Their work speaks for itself. Kendrick lets his verses do the talking. Pusha's lyrics hit hard. Jay-Z lets his business moves speak volumes. Meanwhile, Drake is out here shouting, suing, and name-dropping. It's a messy situation, and people are noticing. If you check online or talk to folks on the street, many are saying Drake looks desperate, like he's losing control. Every time he targets another legend or another camp, it feels less like a strategic move and more like a sign of frustration. People used to see Drake as untouchable, the top dog. But right now, he's looking vulnerable, touchable, and honestly, out of options. Let's be clear, Drake still holds significant influence, has plenty of hits, and maintains a loyal fan base. He's not out of the game. However, his current approach doesn't reflect the mindset of a champion. It feels more like someone desperately clinging to a title that's slipping away. You can't take on everyone and expect to emerge unscathed. Every battle leaves its marks, and right now, Drake is covered in them. Now, let's dig deeper. Why is Drake targeting Jay-Z and Roc Nation like this? Some speculate it's out of jealousy, others think it's about control, while some believe he's trying to assert that he's unafraid of anyone, even HOV. But honestly, it seems like he's feeling cornered. When you start lashing out at everyone around you, it often indicates a sense of entrapment. And Drake definitely feels trapped at this moment. He can't outshine Kendrick lyrically, he can't undo what Pusha T did to him, and he's frustrated by Jay-Z and Roc Nation's continued success without him. So what does he do? He pulls them into his chaos. The problem is, the streets don't respect that. You don't earn credibility by whining in court or by reopening old feuds. And definitely not by attacking a legend like HOV out of resentment. What the streets value is strength, authenticity, and clarity. Drake used to embody that, but it's currently slipping away from him. Picture this. Drake is in the midst of a street fight, throwing punches at Kendrick on one side and Pusha on the other, while Jay-Z stands back, observing. Drake is swinging wildly, clearly exhausted, and missing more often than he connects. Meanwhile, Kendrick remains composed, Pusha is smirking, and Jay-Z doesn't even need to intervene. He knows Drake will tire himself out. That's the essence of the situation right now. You can sense that this is consuming Drake. It's evident in his speech, his online behavior, and even in the subtle jabs he throws. He's not at ease. He lacks confidence and feels pressured. When someone is under pressure, it's noticeable. Fans can sense it, rivals can sense it. That's when they strike, which is why the industry is turning against him now. Drake could have handled this situation differently. He could have ignored Pusha years ago and let his music do the talking. He could have acknowledged Kendrick's Super Bowl moment and concentrated on his own achievements. He could have fostered relationships with Roc Nation instead of burning bridges. But instead, he opted for conflict. And conflict is messy, especially when you're not prepared for the fallout that comes with it. Right now, it seems like Drake is more concerned with his pride than anything else. When pride takes control, it can bring you down faster than any rival ever could. The streets understand this. When you let pride guide you, your judgment gets clouded. You end up making decisions that hurt you more than they help. That's the situation Drake is in. Let me be clear though. I'm not saying Drake is done for. He's too talented, too well-connected, and too clever to completely fall off. But this current version of him? It seems unstable. Unless he calms down, refocuses, and stops taking shots at every legendary figure, he's going to keep slipping. Ultimately, it boils down to this. Drake, who once seemed invincible, is now appearing uncertain. He's suing, dissing, and pointing fingers, and instead of rising above it all, he's sinking further. Going after Jay-Z and Roc Nation over the Super Bowl? That's a weak move. Coming at Pusha T again? That's foolish. Still upset about Kendrick outshining him? That's immature. And the streets don't respect immaturity. If Drake truly wants to improve his image, he needs to quiet all this drama and focus on his music again. Until then, he'll continue to look like he's losing a battle he started. And the streets? They're watching, laughing, and taking notes. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this situation, so please share your opinions in the comments. Also, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications to stay updated on this story.